Welcome to MMA on the Rocks. My name is Bill Welker. You are listening to Picks and Pours, episode 29, where we're going to give you some very uninformed picks on UFC Louisville and possibly have a hot take and some shots for you in the works. Today is Thursday, June 6th. And before we get into any of the fight talk, let me introduce from all the way across town, right by the Walmart where I bought this bottle sitting in front of me, Matt the Mechanic. What's going on, Matt?
Not much, Bill. Hey, do you know what a heat dome is? I keep hearing about this heat dome.
No, but I think we live in it.
Well, it's like this heat dome that's moving, over Texas and is now reaching us. So be on the lookout for a heat dome.
I feel like we're in a heat dome for 5 months out of the year.
Yeah, but this one's moving across the country, so it looks pretty big. So it'd be pretty hard to miss.
So what does that mean? It's just like hot weather?
Yeah, it's some sort of dome caused by climate change.
Is it?
It's a heat dome. It's I don't know. It's a circle of heat.
Does it only affect you if you believe in climate change?
I don't know. I tend to believe this one because it's hot as hell out there. Our air conditioning's broke at the shop. It is not fun.
Oh, that's gross.
Yeah,
It should be illegal to work there.
When I started working there, it was not air conditioned for the first couple of years. It was rough. I mean, we would just sit in their customers' cars and leave it running because it was like if we're working inside of these really expensive cars, you'd be sweating all over the place. It's disgusting.
Oh yeah,
but it's been about 8 years now since we've had air conditioning, so I'm definitely spoiled. So it's been a hot couple of weeks.
People come in with these really nice cars, and you just leave sweat stains all over them.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah,
I try to do my best, but sometimes it's just.
Yeah, it's like you want the work done on it or not.
Yeah. Hopefully we can get some. When I'm waiting on the corporate head's approval to get it repaired, so hopefully that comes quickly.
Yeah. Hopefully they get a move on that. It should be illegal to work in Florida without air conditioning.
Believe it or not, most shops are not air conditioned.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
The couple times I've gotten angry and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna move shops, and I'll look around and they're just like, if they're not air conditioned, it's not acceptable. So I just stay where I'm at.
But I guess it makes sense. They're like if they're opening and closing bay doors all day, it's got to be expensive to keep it.
I mean, it's pretty expensive. We have some doors that are pretty rapid. They go up and down real quick.
All right.
Yep.
Well, we got fights in Louisville this weekend, which I believe is the correct pronunciation. I always say Louisville, but
Louisville.
Yeah, it's Louisville, right?
Louisville. Yep.
Yeah. So the land of baseball bats and bourbon. And so I decided to pair this episode with one of my favorite Louisville bourbons, Heaven Hill Bottled and Bond, which comes from the Heaven Hill Distillery in Louisville, Kentucky.
One of my favorites.
I turned you on to this, right?
If it's not Jim Beam and I'm drinking it, you probably turn me on to it. if it has a cork, I'm drinking it because of you, Bill.
Well, in that case, I have to apologize because I grabbed the last one at Walmart the other day, and here it sits.
I don't have any luck at that store. I'll stop in and they
really.
Well, I mean, I see that there, and I've gotten that a couple times, but like the they say they get Blanton's and all the good stuff, but I haven't experienced that.
Yeah, I was talking to the guy, and he said the allocated stuff, they don't even know when they're going to get it. And
I don't trust him, Bill.
Yeah, I don't either. He's probably like, selling it out at the back.
Yeah, I'd like to get that price.
I wish you would tell me.
Lucan's today, they had Blanton's for $3.50.
What? Regular Blanton?
It was. No, the regular one's $2.50, and then they had $3.50. So I don't know what the difference is, but both of them are out of my price range.
I mean, Blanton's is a $60 bottle, period. And if I was like really hard up for it, I might pay 80 to 90, but definitely not over $100. No way. There's way better stuff.
Yeah, like E.H. Taylor, and that stuff's cheap and easy to get.
Not where we live.
Ugh.
But even some of the other stuff, like I did a video a while ago that's been my most viral video on TikTok, which I always forget that I'm on TikTok, but I probably should post on there a little more. The Russell's Reserve 10-year, that bottle used to be like $30, and now it's about double that. It's in the $50 to $60 range now. So everybody catches on, and then you got to just keep finding the next best thing.
Things are going up.
In any case, this wonderful whiskey came out of Louisville, and that's where the UFC will be for fight night. How did we do last week? Before we get
We
into
lost. We lost $10, Bill.
You lost every fight?
Remember, I put it on Dustin Poirier last week.
Oh, that's right.
But it was worth it. What a great fight that was.
It was a good fight.
And what a cool takedown he landed at the end.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's called.
Ooh, Islam?
Yeah.
Oh, that Russian leg drag?
Yeah, man, that was sweet.
Yeah. Never seen that in MMA before. Typically, that's something you can get away with in wrestling because you can grab onto the shoe. And it's even more impressive he did it in the 5th round when they're both all sweaty, because it's really hard to hold on to a sweaty ankle.
Yeah, I had some friends over and that happened, and they're always asking me the questions. Like, I'm informed. They're like, "What was that?" And I was like, "I don't know."
Yeah. There's a pretty cool move like that that's done with the wrists, where you get the guy to take a step back and then you drag the wrist through.
I think I've saw that one before. It's called like the Russian something, right?
Yeah. It's a Russian wrist drag, I think. So that one is a little more believable for MMA because you can grab onto the glove, and you get a little bit of tackiness, but that leg drag is crazy.
Maybe his grip strength has to be next level.
Oh yeah, and his squeeze. Like, I saw a video of some guy trying to explain, like, this is what Poirier should have done when he got stuck in that dart. So I'm like, that thing was in tight. Like,
yeah, he did what he should have done. He tapped.
Yeah, and then he went unconscious. All right, so he lost $10 last week, but $10 is worth it.
It's one of the memorable main events of the year, I think.
It was win-win for me because I was rooting for Poirier, but at the same time, in our end of the year predictions, my prediction was that Islam would be the only champion who would remain champion.
Yeah, just because you predicted it don't mean you have to want it to happen. But I like the way Dustin, I like that he didn't retire. He's just basically said, I'm going to fight the fights I want to fight, and that's what I think he should do. He doesn't necessarily need to chase the title. He is who he is. Just take the big fights once he gets healed up, once he gets bored.
Yeah. Well, what do you want to see for him?
I want to see whatever he wants to do. I'm okay with.
I think if Islam moves up, let's do Poirier and Tsarukyan for the interim.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
Although I don't think that'll happen because Tsarukyan said he needs some time off, and Poirier's got a broken rib, a broken nose, and a partially torn Achilles.
Yeah.
I wonder if the torn Achilles is from that leg drag.
No, it's from that moment earlier in the fight when he was up against the cage and his knee tweaked a weird way.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, whatever he wants to do is good with me, as long as it's not like fight 12 more times and lose the last 10 of them or something like that. But
yeah, that would.
I mean, he went 5 rounds with the man, so in my eyes, he can do what he wants.
Yeah, and he killed off one of the young lions right before that. So
yeah,
he's right in there.
Just take the big fights. Max Holloway, that'd be cool. I mean, that was already.
Yeah, I want Max Holloway at lightweight. I would like to see Max Holloway versus Islam.
Well, maybe Dustin will be the fight before that. That'd be a big fight.
Yeah. I just knowing how big Max is and like he's done everything at featherweight already. I'm not interested in a Taporia fight for him. I'd like to see him stay at lightweight.
Yeah, thick Max.
In any case, let's get into UFC Louisville. So the bottom of the main card allegedly starts with Julian Marquez 9-4 against Zachary Reese. Marquez kind of hot and cold, kind of likes to take a beating and then stage a comeback. Reese has won all of his professional fights except for his only UFC fight besides the Contender Series, where he got slam KO'd by Cody Brundage. That was back in December. So I would imagine this is close to a pick'em on the odds, but what are
it's
they?
It's pretty close. Marquez is minus 142. Reese plus 110, and I'm taking the underdog here. This kid's seems to be on fire. He learned a lesson last time, I hope, and he's got skills everywhere. And I just think Marquez, I don't know what's going on with him. He's fight like 6 fights in 7 years or something like that.
Yeah. You get I mean, sometimes it's like you don't know what you're getting with him. And betting wise, that's a hard person to bet on because sometimes he seems like he just doesn't want to be there. Like he's just showing up to work, to collect a check, you know? I kind of get that vibe a little bit.
Is this the Miley Cyrus guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, he fumbled. That must have been the problem. That's when he started to go down.
Yeah, but I believe, doesn't he also do a podcast with a porn star?
I'm not sure. It doesn't make my list. I just found the Jackson podcast, and that's an interesting one.
The Jackson podcast?
Yeah, it's Rampage and
okay.
Luke Rockhold.
He does the Beauty and the Beast podcast with Kendra Lust.
Never heard of her.
I haven't either, but I know she is an adult film actress.
Well, anyway, I don't think it's going to go well for him on Saturday, so we're going to go with the plus 110 in Zachary Reese.
All right. I'm not mad at that pick. All right. Next fight, middleweight fight, Bruno Ferreira against Dustin Stoltzfus. If I had to guess the odds on this, Stoltzfus is coming off of a submission win over Punahele Soriano, who's also on this card, I believe. Yeah, he's on the undercard there. But Ferreira is 11-1. He's just a monster. Coming off of that nasty knockout over Phil Hawes, I would imagine Ferreira is a slight favorite in it. Maybe more than a slight favorite. But, all right, what are the odds?
So, I think these odds are wrong, but they're minus 265 for the Hulk and plus 215 for Dustin. I think the Hulk should be a bigger favorite. This fight's rarely make it out of the first round. Only one loss. I'm going to take the Hulk.
Yeah, hard to argue with that. I mean, Stoltzfus, he's experienced. He's durable. But he has been finished in 4 of his last 6 fights. No, sorry. He was finished in 3 of his last 6, but lost 4 of his last 6. So, yeah, I like that pick. I like the Hulk in that one as well. All right, here's your boy Raul Rosas Jr. and Ricky Tercios, who kind of wound up in the UFC by accident. He lost his Contender Series fight, and then got a last minute call to come in, had a good performance, and the rest is history. Raul Rosas just had that one little hiccup so far, and he's been pretty much a dynamo ever since. Both of these guys coming off of wins, I believe. I imagine Rosas is probably a pretty hefty favorite, though.
It's minus 218 versus plus 220. Do you know this is the third time we've picked this fight?
I thought it looked familiar.
Yeah, this is the one that they keep canceled. He got sick right before he walked out, and then he got sick and canceled again.
Oh, right.
There was something about remember there was his parents wouldn't let him fight, or
that old excuse.
Yeah, but this one, Ricky's style, it just seems to be weather the storm and then come back in later rounds. Not a good idea against this kid. I mean, didn't like this kid too much when he got in, but he's a savage. So I'm just gonna have to go with the favorite here.
Yeah, it's a night of favorites. Random trivia. Do you know what the arena is called?
Oh, yeah. It's something silly.
Yeah.
But no, we're not going to sit here long enough for me to.
It's the KFC Yum Center.
Yeah, the Yum Center. I didn't know I've never heard the KFC part. I'm sure that changes, but it's been the Yum Center for a while.
Yeah, I guess it should be the Heaven Hill Yum Center. Let's get that changed.
I don't know. KFC, I think, is a little bigger than Heaven Hill, I would imagine.
That's true. But don't they have those genetically modified chickens and stuff? They grow the chickens to be 8 feet tall.
I think most of our meat these days is genetically modified, so I don't think we can hold that against KFC.
Yeah, but I remember KFC's been doing it for the longest time, because you used to get the bucket of KFC chicken, and the chicken breast would be this big. You couldn't hold it with one hand.
I don't know. Work got us some Publix last Saturday, and they were pretty damn big deal.
Oh, yeah. You ever get the chicken wings from Publix?
Oh, yeah, I love them.
They're humongous. They look like legs.
They're delicious.
Yeah.
Non-spicy or non-breaded, hot and spicy is the way to go.
TRT chicken. It's all right. It's pretty delicious. All right, let's go. Let's stick with the KFC Yum Center. All right, co-main event: Dominic Reyes and Dustin Jacoby. So Reyes is another guy who is so talented, but it's just which Dominic Reyes am I going to get? And for ever since he's fought John Jones, we've gotten the Dominic Reyes that gets knocked out. And that's not the Dominic Reyes you want to be when you get in there with Dustin Jacoby, but he's lost 3 of his last 4 as well.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of guys on this card that, if they don't get a win this Saturday, they're done.
Yeah, this is the show up or go home card. This is you might be leaving the Yum Center without a job. Yeah. I would think that Jacoby's a slight favorite here.
Minus 230 versus Reyes at plus 190.
What? Reyes is a minus 230 favorite, you said?
No, Jacoby.
Oh, okay.
Minus 230. Reyes is plus 190.
Oh, okay. I heard that backwards. I heard that like Willy Wonka. No. Strike that, reverse it. All right, yeah. I mean, he's been knocked out in his last 3 fights, but granted, if you look at his resume, his last 4 fights, John Jones, Jan Blachowicz, Yuri Prohaska, and Ryan Spann. That's that's murderer's row right there. And then if you look at when he was winning fights, knocked out Chris Weidman, beat Volkan Ozdemir, beat Ovince St. Preux, beat Jared Cannonier, who's in the main event. So what a fall off from like his last 4 fights to the 4 fights prior, like night and day. Like I don't think you could have much more of a contrast in a resume than that.
Yeah, it's I heard Anik say today, it's like he wonders how much John Jones should get credit for each of his losses after.
Yeah.
I remember thinking like he might have won that fight against John Jones, like especially with the judging we've had of recent.
He didn't though.
I mean, but that was like a little bit. I'm not saying he did, but there was a little bit of controversy there. Like,
Yeah, but most of it comes from people who are rooting against John Jones and kind of twisting their perception a little bit. The same thing happened with the Gustafsson fight, where so many people thought that Gustafsson won the first fight, and I've gone back and rewatched it and scored it. And the last time I watched it, I gave 4 rounds to John Jones.
okay, well, we'll settle on that. Dominic gave John Jones one of his best challenges.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And then the question becomes, how much effort did John Jones put into the preparation for that fight too? Because we saw when he rematched Gustafsson, he just smoked him. So what would happen in a rematch with John Jones? And like all the people saying that Reyes won, if he were to get back in there with John Jones, he would be plus 1,700.
Yeah.
Somewhere in that vicinity. It wouldn't even be close. All right. Let's get on to the main event, shall we, Mr. Jackpots? Jared Cannonier against the Frenchman, Nassourdine Imavov. No, it's Imavov, right? Imavov, yeah. Apologies, Mr. Imavov. All right. I like this matchup. I think it's an interesting one. Imavov had a hard time with Sean Strickland. Then, clashed heads with Chris Curtis, and he's coming off the win against Roman Dolidze. But, other than that, he's been pretty reliable. Jared Cannonier has consistently been one of the best middleweights on the planet for a long time. Struggled with Adesanya during Adesanya's peak, which, you can't fault him there. And then other than that, his only losses in recent memory are Adesanya and Whitaker. So, also two of the top guys. And it's like middleweight is one of these divisions where, there's the top handful of guys, and they've all just been jockeying for position. I would think Cannonier is a slight favorite here.
Nope.
Wow.
Let me double check. I didn't put that down wrong. Cannonier is plus 102.
Wow. And what's Imavov?
Minus 122.
So who are you taking?
I'm taking the under of 4.5.
You're betting the under it lasts less than 4.5 rounds?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. What are the odds for that?
Plus 124.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
Well, I mean, neither one of these guys have finished a fight in a long time.
I guess that's true, but they've been fighting. Cannonier knocked out Derek Brunson. That was like 2 years ago.
No, I think that was a bit longer
ago. A little bit. It was February 2022. So 2 years and some change.
I don't think I've done an under before, so I'm going to do that.
All right. And do you have a lean on either of these gentlemen?
Yeah, I was leaning towards Imavov. That's why I didn't like the minus 125. I got any underdogs, so that's why I switched it. The problem is these guys both have good chins, but
I would lean towards Cannonier just because I thought he would be a favorite going into this because he has a win over Strickland, who beat Imavov.
I don't think he won. Did he win that? That's another controversial one.
But he has a win over him.
Well, okay, if you say so.
Yeah, I mean, it was a close fight. I mean, it was a lot closer than Imavov's fight with Strickland.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
So, yeah, that's why I thought Cannonier would have been a slight favorite. All right, well, I guess that's that. Let's there's a couple of fights I'm interested in on the undercard, most of which is Miguel Baeza and Punahele Soriano. Two big, strong, super athletic guys. That both seem way too big for welterweight. I think that's going to be an entertaining fight. I'm really looking forward to that one. There was another one. I thought there was another one. No. That's about it.
Yeah. Well, we just had a big pay-per-view. Well,
Wait,
some would say a big pay-per-view.
Oh, we got Chuck Buffalo on this card.
Chuck Buffalo.
Yeah, that's always. He's fighting Carlos Prates. They're hiding him on the prelims. Chuck Buffalo. He's not even going to get on the microphone here.
Well, we don't know. He could be the co-main for all we know.
Oh yeah, it could be mixed up like last week. But he's coming off of that impressive win over Gilbert Urbina. He's fighting a guy in Prates with a lot more experience. And this guy has been knocking out everybody. He's got knockouts in his last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fights. And it looks like early in his career he was submitting everybody. This guy is 18-6, 13 knockouts, 3 submissions.
Yeah, he's a big favorite. Minus 238.
Man, what are they trying to do to Chuck Buffalo? Who'd he piss off?
I don't know. We might have to add in $1 on old Chuck Buffalo.
How?
Well, hold on.
Is this a political move by the UFC trying to throw Chuck Buffalo a loss during Pride Month? Is this a conspiracy?
We're gonna delete the pick on the Hulk because it's minus 265, and we're gonna write in Chuck Buffalo.
You're throwing a buck on Chuck Buffalo?
Yeah.
Oh man! And how much would you bet on an anti-Pride Month speech from Chuck Buffalo?
I don't know. I'd like to see it.
I
don't think they'll give him their microphone. I think that's why he's on the prelims.
What are the odds? I want to see odds on that.
Not sure.
That should be something you should be able to bet on. Every time Chuck Buffalo fights, is he going to drop a homophobic slur?
I saw there was a quick pop-up bet on how many times they would have showed Trump Saturday night. And it was like, it went to over because they showed him like 37 times or something like that.
Wow. Does that include, so is that just the camera panning to him randomly, or does it also include when the fighters jump over the cage to go?
Every instance of him appearing on the camera.
Oh, okay. All right.
I think it was a focus shot, like, because, it was probably a bunch because he's sitting right there during the fights. You could see him a bunch, but.
Yeah, I probably would have bet the under on that one. 37 times. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's like as much camera time as John Anik gets.
I don't think Anik gets that much.
Yeah, he just like in the beginning and the end, like a couple of ad reads in the middle. They show him. All right. You want to get into a hot take or take a shot?
Sure.
All right.
Thirsty.
You got the sound clip you want to play, or?
I got some old smoky peanut or butter pecan moonshine.
Oh, that could be. Is it like creamy?
Yeah.
You're going to shoot that whole thing?
Yeah, why not?
That looks like quite a mouthful. What's it? How many ounces is that?
It's a regular shot, 50 milliliters.
Really? That looks
Yeah,
pretty hefty.
yeah, I thought the same thing. That's
It
why I
looks like
know
a
it's 50.
jar of peanut butter.
That's why I know it. I know how much it is because I was like, damn, this thing's big. How many milliliters is this? And it's only 35 proof, too.
Oh, okay. That's not bad. That seems like it would be good chilled, though.
Well,
Did you chill it?
maybe the next one. No.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, let's do this here. For those who are not familiar with hot takes or take a shot, usually it's Matt who has a hot take. And if I can't change his mind on it, I have to take a shot of something disgusting. Today, I'm coming with the hot take. And my hot take is that I don't give a shit if Conor McGregor fights at UFC 303 or not. There seems to be a lot of drama going on about this. The press conference was canceled, and Ariel Helwani says the fight is still on. Michael Chandler left his training camp, and there's a whole bunch of drama about it. To me, seeing Conor McGregor fight is just like a novelty thing. It's equivalent to like these Jake Paul fights to me. I don't care if it happens or not. It doesn't have any meaning as far as rankings or titles or anything like that. I'm interested to see how he looks and how motivated he is coming off of, that gruesome injury. I'm highly impressed with anybody who's able to do that. I don't care what kind of performance you put on. I mean, we saw Anderson Silva do it, and we saw Chris Weidman do it. Neither one of them were the same after. So I'm interested in that regard. But as far as seeing him fight, like if Conor McGregor never fights again, it's no skin off my nuts.
Well, I told you before the show that I had a hot take, but I didn't know if I wanted to do it or not. But I'm going to read it to you.
Okay.
It's if Conor doesn't want to do any press until fight week, then we shouldn't have to talk about the damn fight until then.
Yeah, so we're pretty much on the same page here.
Yeah, so I guess I get to try. I'm kind of excited to try this. So I like butter pecan ice cream, but I don't know.
I gotta find some of that for my father-in-law. He's a big pecan pie guy.
Well, it's real easy. Lucan's, it's on the counter.
All right. When I go pick up my $250 Blanton's, I'll get a couple of bottles of that.
I think I'll just stick with the ice cream.
Yeah, no good?
I mean, it tastes like melted butter pecan ice cream, and you put some cheap moonshine in it.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a feeling like when you held it up and it looked creamy and you said it wasn't chilled, I didn't feel good about it for you.
I mean, it's not as creamy as it looks, because that's the empty one. The bottle.
Oh, okay. So it's just the sticker on the label.
I mean, no, it's white. It looks like melted ice cream.
Oh, yeah. I'm not a big advocate of chilling whiskey, but yeah, I'd have to put that over some ice.
So yeah, about the Conor thing. The thing that I kind of think this fight's off. And it's the Chandler going home. That's seems weird. That's the weirdest part of it to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, who cares?
And it could all be.
I feel real bad for Chandler if that's the case.
Yeah, I mean, he's been getting strung along for how long now? I mean, this guy.
And if it's not Conor, then what's he gonna do? He looks huge. He's not gonna fight 155. I mean, he's screwed.
Yeah.
But I also, if he could make 155, I don't see how he makes more money fighting Conor versus another guy. It's his contract, right?
I don't see how he makes more money fighting Conor over the 3 fights he could have had, in the meantime. Like he easily, since the Ultimate Fighter ended, he could have had 3 fights.
Yeah, who knows? He could have made He could have made a title run.
We're already on a new season of the Ultimate Fighter. Nobody's watching.
Hey, I watched it.
Did you? How was it?
Not yet. I'm going to.
Oh, see?
I didn't. But the problem is, I didn't even know it was on.
Yeah, I didn't either. I didn't either until I was looking up the card and I saw
The thing about not drinking water.
yeah, I saw that clip and it didn't even register to me that Ultimate Fighter had started.
Well, it's weird because it's women coaching men.
Hey, it's 2024. I I I gotta say though, I like the no drinking water thing. I had a Muay Thai coach who his name was Bogdan Moroz,
Ugh.
and he's from the Ukraine, and he would not let anyone drink water during training. Like legitimately, if you got off the mat to go get water, he would yell at you and tell you to get back on the mat. And I don't know if it's just like a mental toughness thing or if there's something to it, like you legitimately don't need it. But what I would do is just get in the habit of hydrating before training and then drinking a bunch of water after. And to this day, I don't drink water during jujitsu or even sparring rounds, like hard sparring rounds. I don't even bring a water bottle out to the ring. I keep it in the locker room.
I definitely see what the point, especially in jiu-jitsu. I'll see the guys, they'll want, okay, the round's over. I'm gonna go get a drink of water. I'm gonna delay starting
Yeah.
the round and hydrate before. I take a drink of water between the instructional part and the rolling part. But
Yeah, but do you need it?
no, I mean it's not for hydration purposes. It's to clean out the mouth. I don't know.
Yeah.
Right before the mouth guard goes in.
Sure. Yeah.
But the point is, it's like just a way to make them not waste time. I don't think it makes you stronger. I just think it makes you stronger because you don't have that crutch to.
Yeah. It becomes it. You're right. It becomes a distraction because guys will, they go get their water and then next thing they're checking their phone. I know they can't on the Ultimate Fighter set, but in gyms here, that
check the
happens.
phone.
Then next thing they're taking a round of sparring off, and it's like, hey, do you have a fucking fight coming up? What are you doing? Put the bottle down, get back, get back out here and spar.
Yeah, but but also they're adults and they should be able to drink water if they want to drink water. Just don't be an asshole about it. Like run over there,
Sure.
chug the shit, and let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're gonna do it, just don't make a thing out of it. Take a sip and you can get back on the mat.
But it's not good if that's the viral clip from the first episode.
Yeah, not strong.
Yeah.
Not strong.
Hey, did you see the new gloves they were using in the last pay-per-view, 302?
Yeah, and I saw somebody showed a close-up of Islam's gloves and
It was all
the
worn
UFC
off.
stickers peeled off.
Well, that's what a lot of the fighters are upset about. Is because like the old ones, we'd even see I saw Favola, wearing fight gloves in the gym. But these aren't designed for that. They're just designed for one fight and to be done, apparently.
Yeah.
But I'd noticed at the press conference, the guys and girls seem to have like a more like not cuts but scratches on them.
Huh. And you think it's from the gloves?
I mean, I don't remember seeing. I don't know. To get a chance, take a look. I've never saw it before, and I saw it on multiple people.
I hadn't. Yeah, I hadn't really thought about it.
And then the other weird one is my understanding of the gloves came from a video that Randy Brown made a couple weeks ago, and he was that was his concern was one, they're going to get scratched, and two, it's going to make more eye pokes. And then he goes out there and pokes him in the eyes.
Yeah, he poked the shit out of that guy's eyes. He hit him like 3 times. Maybe he was just doing it to prove himself right. He's like, look how many more eye pokes there are with these gloves.
Well, no, he says he likes the gloves more, but he says that's going to be the downside is the people that are prone to poke people in the eyes are going to poke them more.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't go back to the curved gloves that they used in Pride. So it kind of like where the UFC gloves forces your hand open, the Pride gloves were curved, so your hand was kind of, and it works well for grappling and for striking and forces you to make a fist. So I don't see a reason why they wouldn't use that, but there's got to be some kind of that maybe there's a patent on it. I don't know.
No, it's because they look dumb.
I guess functionality over aesthetics.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah. Oh well. You got anything else?
Um, this is a little crossover news, but WWE NXT Battlegrounds has one of their pay-per-views this Saturday, and it's
Okay.
at the Apex.
Interesting.
I don't know what that's about, but
How do you
like,
do WWE at the Apex with like no crowd?
I'm not sure. NXT is like the second tier of wrestling, and I'm not that bad that I watch that. I mean, it's on every time of time, but
So it's like the farm league.
yeah, and it's like I know this event's being hosted by Sexy Red. I don't know if you're familiar with her work.
No, can't say I am.
She's some
Is she another adult film star?
no musical artist or rapper, I guess, however you view that. But I just thought that was interesting. The reason I saw it is because there's an ad. The UFC originally wanted them to do the wrestling in the cage, and they're like, well, no, we can't do that. That's not, it like takes away 40% of the crap we do.
Yeah,
We
how you
can't
gonna
have
whip
these,
each other off the ropes?
yeah, it doesn't work. But other than the big Connor thing, it's been a pretty slow news week. Dana announced some fights that we've already announced on here.
Yeah. What
Trainer
about Chael
Stevens,
Sonnen boxing Anderson Silva?
yeah, I don't know. That's kind of weird.
It is very weird.
It seems like that's just some guys doing a side quest. Like I don't think they can expect many people to give a shit about that.
Yeah, it's so strange, especially because I mean, Chael Sonnen has very underrated boxing. You know, a lot of people remember his first fight with Anderson Silva as Chael just holding him down for 4.5 rounds and then getting submitted. But he dropped Anderson Silva in the first round with a big left hand. Um, you know, he's got very good boxing, and it's been very underrated in his career. Um, you know, he always trained with Clayton Hires, who was, you know, his striking coach was a boxing coach, pretty much. So Chael has good hands. He's always had tight defense. Um, never really got hit a lot early in his career. Um, actually, never really got hit a lot throughout his career.
Hey, I'm gonna watch it. It's one of those sideshow fights that makes
Sure.
sense. I mean, it's a fair fight.
Yeah, if there's nothing else going on, you know, I'll tune in. I would be more likely to watch a Chael Sonnen press conference. I'm more excited to see that back again. But it's weird now because they're like friends.
It's a boxing match. And talking about boxing match, the other big one we've talked about is off. Did you see that?
The Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Yeah, did he almost had a heart attack or something?
They
Or he had
said he
an
had an
ulcer?
ulcer. I mean, I guess that's a hot take I could have. Is I don't think the plan was ever for that fight to actually happen.
Or you think like someone else was gonna step in last minute and they were just using
Yeah,
Tyson to hype it?
I think that's what we're doing. I think that's what's happening right now, and the opponent is his brother.
Oh, he's gonna fight his brother?
Yeah, I mean, his brother offered to step in. They said winner has to change their last name, or loser has to change their last name.
That's stupid.
You know, and then if you go back a couple years ago when Jake Paul was on Mike Tyson's podcast, he was talking about how that was the end game for this whole boxing thing they're doing is for the brother to fight brother. That's why I have this theory. You know, I know they only posted like one video of Tyson training that was from this fight. Everything else was from the last fight. You know,
Yeah.
they got it on Netflix. Now it's on Netflix. I know
So they
Darren
used
Till's
Mike
really
Tyson
trying
to
to.
get everybody talking about it, and now it's gonna
Yeah,
be the brother. I like. I wasn't planning to watch the Tyson fight. I don't care if those two brothers beat each other to death.
yeah, that's a fair fight though. It's a much better fight than Mike Tyson.
Sure, but you know, I'm not really interested in boxing at all.
Yeah,
I mean, there's
I
very few
second that.
boxing fights I would tune in for. Like I watched
Except
the Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney.
except the BKFC. I can always use some bare knuckle boxing.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. You know, but even them, they're leaning too much towards the freak show stuff. Like their poster guy is Mike Perry, and they won't put him in there for the title because they know he'll lose.
Yeah, but also that's kind of why I liked Bare Knuckles, because it's a little bit trailer trash.
Yeah, pretty much is.
But it's okay. It's it's like the guilty pleasure. It's
Sure. Yeah, it's entertaining, that's for sure. And they just signed a deal. They're going to be putting on fights in Japan now.
I don't care about that.
It's
Do
interesting.
they have trailer parks in Japan?
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's not going to be. That's not the move.
But they love combat sports there, and they love spectacles. So they'll be all about it.
They BKFC has a European promotion too that we can watch on the app, and I draw the line. I like it. I watch the ones in the U.S., but other than that, I'm out. Although I did watch the one that was in Bulgaria, and that was crazy. It was like they were in a prison.
They probably were. I watch the ones that my friends are on. And that's outside of that, like, it's got to be really interesting.
But that's all I got.
All right, me too. So I guess we'll cut it a little short, but I think this is a good length for an episode anyway. If you guys want to grab some MMA on the Rocks merchandise, you can get your Over the Top Under the Influence t-shirts, tank tops, and hoodies through our friends at Team Reaper. Reaper1.co is the website. You can use the promo code MMA Rocks 10, save yourself 10%. As always, the links to each individual item are already in the show notes for YouTube and Facebook, and they will be in the show notes if you're listening to this on audio on your favorite podcast platform. If you're not already, please subscribe wherever you happen to be listening to or watching the podcast. We're creeping up on that 1,000 subscriber mark on YouTube, so let's get over the hump here and keep pushing this thing so we can get sponsored by Heaven Hill and get some free whiskey, because it's hard to come by. And that's all we got. Oh, there may or may not be an episode this coming week, because I have my sister and her family that are visiting from New York for a week with her daughters, and we're celebrating my niece's 3rd birthday, so there's a whole lot going on. So I don't know when the next time there'll be an episode, but hopefully it's sooner than later. Until next time, cheers, everybody. Goodbye.
See?